I started getting into dance music because I had gone to the Loft, and the first time I went there, I was quite transformed. My friend Adam Goldstone, who passed away a few years ago, he was a real club kid. He hated being called a club kid, but he really was. And he went out every single night, and he was a good friend of mine. I kind of knew him more through mod music. We kind of became friends more that way.
Right.
But he's discovered house and was going to all these great clubs, and he would bring me out to certain clubs like Trax or Payday in the late 80s. And he also brought me to the Loft, but it was Choice. It wasn't David's party, it was Choice party going on at the time. So I've been to the space, then he brought me, when David started doing his own parties again, he brought me over, and the music to me was just completely what I would have picked in dance music to be what I related to emotionally.
You had this kind of epiphany going to the Loft.
Yes.
And you started regularly, by the sounds of things, going to the Loft.
Regularly, absolutely.
And a lot, obviously a lot has been recorded about your being the sort of prodigy of Mancuso.
Yeah, he's a really good friend, and he's taught me a lot.
Yeah. It's probably the best way of putting it. Yeah. And so how has that sort of manifest itself in terms of your attitude to music and the way you play it?
That's a really good question. It's funny, I kind of became friends with David early on as far as being a dance music DJ. I was a radio DJ.
Yeah.
And he invited me to play, and I think I had just played at a bar around the corner. I didn't even have 2 turntables at home. Mm-hmm. So that was quite an honor. And I remember listening to my entire record collection and putting little dots on them, 33, 45, because there's no headphones. I mean, I only played like 4 records or something. It was just one-on-one. He's like, very good, Colleen. I remember the first one I played was Lolo, Waxavan. Very good, Colleen. But, it's like these $2,000 cartridges. But, that was my first experience in playing. And I can't say it's a club, it was a party. And it still is a party. Playing music that is not just here today, gone tomorrow. And I think I've relatively been pretty good at that in general anyway, so it's kind of one of my criterion, but I'm getting even more discerning as I get older. And also if it's produced well, if it sounds good on 2 clip shorts. So things like that. And also how to do a party. I mean, our parties here in London are really at a good point now, where the people that are there should be there, and they're the right people, and they're having a great time, and everyone's just having fun. Well, we have Techniques 1100s that are modified with Koetsu tone arms, and we have Koetsu cartridges, which are handmade moving coil cartridges made in Japan. So then it goes into the ML1. In fact, I can show you. I have some equipment here. Here's a clip shorn. This is the highs and mids. At the party, what we do is we take this up and we put a wooden block in so that they're above your head.
Okay.
And then they go into something we call false corners, which, see how if you bring the camera around, you can see how this wedges right into a corner.
Oh, right.
Okay, now that is because they are reverse horns. The horns point to the back, so you're using the wall as for amplification.
Yeah.
So you nudge these right in tight, and so we have false corners, so that's what helps amplify the sound. They're very, very efficient speakers. Very efficient speakers. So then they go into what we call an ML1. This is an ML1 Mark Levinson preamplifier. Well, well...
What a beautiful looking thing.
I should say they go into it. The turntables go into it. I only have my turntable here, which is not what we use at the party, but this is a Nottingham Analog Space Deck, which runs on hydraulics. So that's how you
Amazing.
go. But here, that's a Koetsu down there. That's a moving coil cartridge. That goes into a step-up transformer to step up the signal, which then goes into the ML1.
And what sort of mixer do you use? And
this is it. There's not really a mixer. It's just phono 1.
Right.
Phono 2.
Oh.
That's simple. No headphone jack, nothing. Now this then goes into a dividing network. Okay? Now the dividing network is there because we have 5 columns of speakers. So you have center mono.
Yeah.
Then you have left and right front.
Yep.
And then left and right rear. The ones that are on the side are delayed. So everything arrives at the same time on the dance floor. So when you're in the sweet spot in the middle, it should all arrive at the same time. I do a monthly radio show for Ministry of Sound, which is also broadcast on Samurai FM and deepfrequency.com, who are some friends of mine from Lucky Cloud Soundsystem. So I do that as a monthly, and I don't just do it as a DJ mix. Those are nice, but kind of a dime a dozen, really. So I do it as a proper radio show, talking about the records, talking about what's going on, interviewing people. I had Phil Meissen on my show. I recorded it yesterday. He's previewing his new Cantoma album. I think Richard Norris from Beyond the Wizard's Sleeve and Time and Space Machine's on the next one. So I always try to get a guest and just try to show that this is a real scene happening. It's not, and with real artists who have something to say. Tom and Eric from Rub and Tug have been doing some great stuff, both together and on their own. And Eric's latest thing called Still Going, Spaghetti Circus, is just one of these tunes for me that I'm going to play for a long time. And I bought it on vinyl. Hopefully David will play it too. Because I have to make sure I have the vinyl, But I just think it's a fantastic tune. And it just has all these elements of just, it doesn't just sound like what's happening now. I mean, sometimes I play some things that are very now, and I know it might not be forever and ever, but what I really push is things that I think will be classics. And I think that will be. Another thing that's coming out this month is Stallion Suite, Finley Brown, featuring Stallions. And Stallions is Andrew Hogg from Love Fingers, and probably somebody else. He sent it to me, and it's coming out, I guess, on Finlay's, whichever label he's on, and it is fabulous. It's kind of a lot, it has that kind of spaghetti western kind of feel, too, just like the Spaghetti Circus. So those are two things I just absolutely love.